The SEC has started 2023 with a massive lawsuit. This makes a settlement with Ripple Labs XRP versus the SEC very unlikely, as Gary Gensler is flexing his power. And one of the self-proclaimed most safest protocols out there was hacked. Maybe your bio needs to change. And Nexo was raided and the cash is flowing out. All that and more coming up next. And it's always a good day when you start off with the heat map being green. And by the way, did you notice I spilled my branched chain amino acid drink on my hoodie in the segment before this? Bitcoin sitting at 18,771, ETH at 1,400. Gonna keep an eye on that. XRP highlighted today's video sitting at 36.7. Nexo sees withdrawals of 158 million a day after the Bulgarian raid. I broke that story late last night as Bulgarian officials raided Nexo, stating violations of anti-money laundering laws. That situation for Nexo is pretty bad, and as you can see, lots of money have been pulled out of Nexo. Now on to the story that has got irony written all over it. Self-proclaimed safest DeFi lender loses $6 million in hack. LendHub lost $6 million in crypto assets in attack, the team reported on Friday. Hey, that's today. Yep, that's how fast news breaks on this channel. That's why you hit the subscribe button so that you can be up to date with the latest crypto news. LendHub stated that the attack occurred on January 12th. The DeFi lender added that it has contacted blockchain security firms and crypto exchanges to assist with the stolen crypto. They want to talk to other exchanges and firms out there and say, hey, yo, those funds that were stolen, can you help us recover some of them? Here's an announcement from LendHub. Dear LendHub user, on January 12th, hackers stole about $6 million of assets from LendHub. The LendHub team has contacted Slomis security team and several mainstream exchanges to track the incident. Here we go, everyone, as the irony gets juicy. Why? Because look at LendHub's description of their profile. LendHub is the safest decentralized lending platform aiming to facilitate cross-chain lending. Might need to change that platform as 2023 is starting off with hacks and exploits already. But now into the two big stories that I know you've been waiting for. The SEC comes out swinging big, and it's not good, everyone. The SEC is charging Genesis and Gemini with selling unregistered securities. This is a big moment for crypto. The billionaire Winklevoss twins and DCG Barry Silbert have been squabbling over the 900 million. Yeah, we've been breaking it here lately on the channel. And now it gets even worse because on Thursday, the SEC charged Genesis Global Capital and Gemini Trust Company with violations of the Securities Act of 1933. It's not a criminal charge of fraud, but rather a more technical accusation of running an unregistered securities offering by selling an investment scheme to U.S. retails without full disclosure. And when they're talking about U.S. retail investors, remember, you can get around this by using Rule 506C, which means you would be offering it to, yes, that's right, accredited investors. So like I said, lending protocols right now seem to be the thing that the SEC is targeting. Lending protocols, anything that has a yield associated to it. And guess what, everyone? I've got the press release right here because, as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. For immediate release, the SEC has charged Genesis Global and Gemini Trust Company for the unregistered offer and sale of securities to retail investors through Gemini Earn Lending Asset Program. That's also why Nexo bailed out of the United States, because they were under heavy scrutiny from the SEC, CFTC, as well as the California state regulators. Interesting, everyone. Through this unregistered offering, Genesis and Gemini raised billions of dollars worth of crypto assets from hundreds of thousands of investors. Investigations into other security law violations and other entities and persons relating to the alleged misconduct are ongoing. I want to share a statement with you. And this statement comes from Gary Gensler himself. And this is where we need to read between the lines, because this gives us more clarity on what the SEC is looking at for the broader crypto market. We allege that Genesis and Gemini offered unregistered securities to the public, bypassing disclosure requirements designed to protect investors, said Gary Gensler. Today's charges build on previous actions to make it clear to the marketplace and investing public that crypto lending platforms and other intermediaries need to comply with our time-tested securities laws. Doing so best protects investors. It promotes trust in the market. It's not optional. It's the law. So now the SEC is swinging a big stick going after Genesis and Gemini for those unregistered sales. The statement from Gary Gensler tells us everything we need to know, and it's going to lead into the Ripple Labs XRP versus SEC story that we're going to cover next. But listen to that though. Lending platforms and other intermediaries need to comply with their time and tested securities laws. Gary Gensler is not, I repeat, is not backing down when it comes to crypto. Ripple versus SEC lawyer predicts no settlement until a decision after the judge. Attorney John Deaton, who is proactively supporting more than 75,000 XRP investors with the legal fight against XRP, Ripple Labs, and the SEC through an amicus brief, has published his predictions for a year on 2023 in Twitter. I'm going to share something with you that kind of gives us even more insight and ties into the previous story that the SEC, they're not interested in settling. Deaton speculated that the only other reason for the SEC and Chairman Gary Gensler to avoid a verdict is that the Ripple case sets a bad precedent, and that would be true because if the SEC were to settle with Ripple, that would then open the doors for that to happen with other ones that they got going on. And think, I just listed a story where the SEC is going after 2 more firms. So why would they want to settle as they're now going after bigger fish out there in the market and going after more fish out there in the market? And remember, the SEC recently won their case against LBRY via summary judgment. By the way, January 30th, they are going to the court, that's LBRY, asking for some help regarding the penalties that the SEC went after them with. Over $20 million, everyone. So again, why would the SEC back down and settle? Deaton is right on number 2. Deaton's second prophecy has already come true. Back in July last year, the lawyer first predicted that the SEC will target cryptocurrency exchanges and sue them. Yesterday, the SEC charges against Gemini Exchange and crypto broker Genesis for selling crypto products as allegedly unregistered securities became public. Prediction number 2 was already filled. That's right, everyone. Gary Gensler is not going to stop in 2023. And it seems now that the outcome with Ripple Labs XRP versus the SEC is going to fall solely on Judge Torres's shoulders rather than a settlement. The markets are green, and that's really good news. Hacks and exploits are continuing in 2023, and let's be honest here, more are going to be happening. Now, the thing with the SEC going after Gemini and Genesis just lets us know that the SEC is there to make it a rough one for crypto in 2023 when it comes to regulations. The statements that they said about not using proper disclosures all ties into that accredited investor action, BlockFi. Now, before BlockFi declared bankruptcy, I know, bad BlockFi. And by the way, I've got a note right here that says BlockFi has got their auction on January 30th. We'll be paying attention to that. Kind of curious to see what those assets go for. But BlockFi got in trouble with their earn program as well. And when they were able to re-release that earn program, it was only for accredited investors, and that's how Gary Gensler and the SEC gave him approval for that. So now with the SEC going after Gemini and Genesis, XRP holders out there are thinking, whoa, okay, the SEC is definitely not interested in settling, as they are now ratcheting up their attack on crypto, going after yield programs. So if you know of any yield programs out there that are offering products to retail investors, not accredited, but retail investors in the United States, please comment down below. And after this latest attack on Gemini and Genesis from the SEC, it appears that settlement is not in the cards for Ripple XRP. Thank you very much for watching this video and the overwhelming support for the channel. We are growing fast as I've got some big goals for 2023. Until more news breaks, I'm going to leave you with this video right here. Further deep dive on crypto Web3 stuff designed specifically for you. Cool stuff using the YouTube algorithms for my advantage. Thank you very much again. I will catch you cool cats later.